This episode is proudly sponsored by Morpheus Publishing, helping people with lived experience turn their stories into powerful published books that inspire, educate, and create change.
Visit www.morpheuspublishing.com.au for more information.
Welcome back to the Lipoedema podcast. We are your host, Shelley.
And Tiana, and today we have a special guest, and it's super, super special because she's right here in this room with us. Never before have we done an episode like this. Shelley is our special guest. Thanks for joining us, Shelley.
Thank you for having me, Tiana.
It sounds like I was on a game show.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for you to be a guest on the Lipoedema podcast today because you've got an exciting announcement. And I am like adamant that we have to share this as a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are you doing that's exciting, Shelley?
So this has been in the process for probably 3 years. I think 3 years ago, I'm like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. I was just being called to it. And then imposter syndrome would hit me hard every time, as I'm sure a lot of people can understand. But I am opening a private counselling practice.
How exciting.
I know.
And
I
I
know.
can confirm it has been swirling in Shelley's head for years, and finally it's happening.
Yes. I have that, as you can all, 75% of us self-diagnose as ADHD. And part of that ADHD for me is constantly just thinking I don't have enough qualifications. I need to learn more. I need to learn more. I need to learn more. Instead of just breathing, sitting down and just having conversation.
Going through your plan, because honestly, this has been a plan of yours for so long.
I've got a business plan.
You have everything. You have it all mapped out so beautifully.
Yeah.
So for those of you who might not be aware of your qualifications, because you come from a background of being ready to do this for a
Yes.
long time. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about your qual, Shell.
All right. So I've been working in special education for the last 10 years. And within that, a lot of my PD was around mental health, mindfulness, because I've always been called to that. That's always been my thing. And so I would do all of my professional development was around how can I help my co-workers? Like, how can I help them in this space that can be so overwhelming and so taxing on our nervous system? So every time something was offered, I'd be like asking to go, or I'd take a sick day and do it from home. And so I was always doing that. And I'm just that person. I just want to help people.
Yeah.
I just want to help people. So I was doing all of that PD. I then went back and did my master's in education, guidance and counselling, which then gave me membership to Australian Counsellors Association. And then I've just recently now done my Cert 4 in mental health, which is more of that trauma-informed practice stuff.
First responder stuff as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's pretty heavy, but I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. And just, I always think I don't have the language. I need to know the language. But, that's another one of those blocks that I need to go, hey, hang on a minute.
Self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah. Yeah, because people don't want to come and sit with me and hear like what parts of the brain are activated when, or that's not what this is about. And so, yeah.
It's about where they're at and
like
their behavior sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
How to move them from point A to point B.
Yeah. And it's not me moving them, it's them moving them, but I'm just the sounding board and that voice of calm and reason to say, we've got this, you've got this.
Yeah. And so you've spoken a little bit about that drive, that pull to, enter into your own private practice. Is there any more that you wanted to touch on about like what led you to start this? Like what was actually the catalyst?
Yeah. Well, I guess, we've shared very openly about my work environment that was very debilitating for me mentally, physically. And then with Dave dying and going through his care with cancer and stuff, I just saw so many people struggling mentally, and I'm like, I just want to do more in that space, so whether it's with lipedema, whether it's with chronic illness, grief, like teacher burnout, counselor burnout, like we just need someone who's walked in those shoes. And I've walked in every pair of those shoes.
You have.
So, yeah, I'm in the trenches with you, and I think that's what makes it so cathartic for people.
Yes, and probably like it would be heavy for you as well, but in some way to help people in situations that you can truly empathize with them. Perhaps there's a bit of healing for yourself as well.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Like, when we first started the podcast, like how much we just felt connected and we were healing ourselves all along the way. So absolutely.
Mm.
Every conversation you have is helping you on your own path as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. And you're right, like your lived experience in all of those different avenues that you can help people with makes it more, you have a better understanding of where people are at, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some pretty heavy stuff like that people are dealing with, whether it be a new diagnosis of lipedema or having multiple chronic illnesses, which is usually what you find out like in a snowball effect,
Yeah.
or dealing with grief or trauma, all of that stuff. It's
Yeah.
like you can truly be along with them on the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, question, what do you think is often missing in healthcare to support spaces? And we'll talk about women
Mhm.
specifically and chronic illness and lipedema.
Yeah. Well, I think the journey is so damn long. Like, is it like 20 something years from when in some illnesses, from when you know about the illness to when you actually get diagnosed? And the self blame
Mm.
that can happen in that time, the feeling that you're broken, that you need to be fixed, like, and like we've spoken about it before, like the compassionate care that is really lacking. And I think like that is one of the things that I really want to work on is self-advocating, like giving women the strength and the bravery to know what they want from their healthcare provider.
Yeah, and we need that because our GPs aren't informed enough
Yeah.
of these conditions to be able to support us.
Yeah, that's right. And so we basically have to go in there, educate them to then get them to give us the care we need because
Yeah,
we can't always get the care we need by ourselves.
and we don't
We
know what
need
we
them.
don't know, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a lot, and it's very exciting though because I feel like there's not a like when I was first diagnosed with lipedema, it was through someone who offered liposuction and lymphatic and venous support and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So to go to see a doctor is very different to going to see somebody who could like guide. It's just very different. Like what you can do medically is very different to what you can do holistically.
Yeah. And I think when you go to a surgeon, it's their business.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean? So they're going to point you in this direction. And yeah, so I think it's very different than going to a GP who looks at everything
Mm.
and only has like 15 minutes to spend with you.
It's impossible. Yeah, love that. So what does you're gonna be working in the recovery of oneself,
Yeah.
I suppose. Is
Yeah.
that fair to say?
Yeah,
Recovery
absolutely.
of oneself,
Yeah.
holistically.
Yeah.
So what does that actually mean to you?
So recovery, and this is something I've learnt over the last few months, recovery isn't being better. It's being able to live your best life while carrying any deficiencies and anything that's going on. It's being able to handle them day to day, having the strategies and systems in place to work alongside whatever's going on because you can't get rid of grief. And there's a lot of grief in the lipedema space.
Mm.
Like we're living these not the lives we wanted to live or thought we'd be living.
That's true.
Like we're debilitating on a daily basis. Like one day we can't get out of bed, the next day we can do everything. And so there's a grief around how life was supposed to be or how we perceived it was going to be. And then it's not. So we can't fix that, but we can walk alongside it and have the resilience and the skills to do that. And that's what I do.
That's what you can help
Yeah.
people achieve.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's not a destination, is it? Like
No.
it's just a full on journey.
Yeah.
Sounds really
Absolutely.
cliche, but it's so true.
But it is. It absolutely is. Or a quest.
A
Going on
quest. I love that. It sounds exciting. It's really flipping the script.
Put our quivers in our bow on our back and off we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So I just want to pop back to the lived experience because we did mention your unfortunate lived experience with a lot of those things that you'll be supporting women through. But why do you think it is so important to have that lived experience as a counsellor?
Well, the thing is, like, if you go to somebody and you explain what's happening to you, they don't really know. Like, they can look like grief, like the word grief, standalone. Yeah, okay, I know about grief. It means you lost something.
Yeah.
But do you know what that feels like? Like that
Yeah.
visceral feeling of loss,
Roller
grief.
coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to someone who hasn't lived it, can't really understand what that whole body experience of being in grief or in pain feels like.
Mm.
Like they could tell you whatever the textbook says, but they can't tell you what it really is going to feel like.
Yeah, I suppose they're going with methods, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. And, that is part of it. Like, I have the skills to back up my lived
Course.
experience, so I know the structures. I know how to make sure everything's confidential and I protect your privacy and I have a code of ethics. I have all of that in place to protect you
Mm.
and to protect myself, but I also am there in the trenches.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So this question about physical health and emotional health. So how they connect. And I feel like Shelley and I were talking this morning offline about some things that we've experienced only recently, learning about new diagnoses and stuff, and how like physical and emotional is intertwined. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to use the word nuanced. And if you watched Maths
Yeah,
this
nuance.
season, nuanced was the word. Julia,
Yeah.
yeah, Julia and nuance. It's all very nuanced.
Yeah.
Um, so your mental health can be from your thoughts or it can be from your body. And so we have this psychological driver and this physiological driver. So we need to be able to take care of both of those. And then you go into the gut brain connection, where the things that you experience in your gut are experienced in your brain as well. So it is really hard to figure out which came first or which to treat first. So you have to do it together. Like you have to holistically care for your mental health and your physical health. And speaking with my psychologist, he said to me the amount of times that people come to him and think he's going to give them this magic pill or this magic
fix
strategy.
things.
He's like, well, how's your sleep? How's your nutrition? Do you move your body? He's like, they are the three key drivers.
How boring.
I know, it's boring in our mental and physical health. So if we can get those three things nutted out and figure out a routine that works for you.
Yes,
and I mean, works you individually because we're all different. We all have so many facets to our lives. We're also nuanced. And that's going to be our word now. Nuanced.
That's the episode title. Recovery.
Nuanced. So yeah, if you can work out those three main foundational factors, then
yeah, I love
you can
that.
start seeing some change.
It was really interesting because this morning I had like I woke up this morning really early and I had this like mad executive dysfunction and I was talking to AI about it. Should probably be talking to a coach about it because I had all my physical stats from my Garmin watch. My physical stats were saying that I was like ready to go. Like I had a good sleep, I had a good rest, my recovery was really good, my heart rate variability, all of that stuff was really good. But I am in my luteal phase. And so we're talking about like, I'm not feeling resilient. Like I can't even think about getting out of bed right now. I'm stressed because Nova's going through a little sleep regression and I'm anticipating her waking up and then that anticipatory dread. And I was talking to AI about it and it was like, so your physical health is at odds right now with your psychological health and that's creating anxiety in the middle. So like you're ready to go physically, but you're not ready to go mentally. And so that disconnect is creating this big like anxiety swell.
Wow.
Because you're not getting rid of that energy that you're physically capable of. I eventually was able to get out of bed and got on the vibration platform because all I could think of doing was like nothing but standing still. I'm like, well, at least if I can move my body that way.
Yeah.
And that then led me to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And it was really tough. And then I ended up doing a workout this morning, not a big one.
Yeah.
So I went from like 2 hours of full on executive dysfunction.
Yeah.
To actually completing some kind of workout, which was pretty huge. And all because the physical and the psychological were not
Yeah.
being treated as one.
Yep.
Fascinating.
It's wild, isn't it?
And so if I had you instead of messaging Gemini this morning, instead of just, I have a few friends. I have Copilot, Gemini, and ChatGPT all at my disposal.
They are good. What I was going to say is they don't really know you, but the amount that you use them, they probably do know who you are by now. So they probably are tailoring it to Tiana.
Probably not as good as like you know me.
No.
So if I was to come to you and tell you how I was feeling, you would have picked that up. But also, like, there's an energy when you're in a room with someone or when you're online with someone to be able to sense like those things that you don't say.
Yeah.
It's different being a person.
Yeah.
And that human interaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you go, like your counselling services, what will that look like practically? Online, like group, like what are you thinking?
So to start with, it'll be online.
Mhm.
So I'm going to open my books for the 1st of July. My books will be open. And so it will be online. I'm also looking at going to spaces who have rooms available, physical spaces.
Cool.
So I might be out, because I understand, like, having a physical space is limiting to the amount of people I'll see.
100%.
But it's also so good to be face to face with someone.
Yeah, you can feel the
their
energies
presence.
and be
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to do a bit of each. So that'll be initially. Then I will also be starting up some groups.
Fabulous.
So some online groups. And then also I'd like to do some in-person workshops and things as well. So it'll all just start, and as it evolves and as I know what people need and what the community wants, then I'll create and offer that as well.
Nice. So it's just an
Yeah.
agile approach,
Yeah.
which is exactly how it should be.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just meet the needs of the people that come and tap into you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There's a lot of evidence in not only like having a coach and a counselor, but also that community support. So the fact that you're integrating those small group and then workshop style,
Mhm.
like talk to me about your drive to make sure that there's a few different options for people.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like, as we were just saying, with being in person and then online, I just want as many people to access as they can.
Yeah.
So, of course, one-on-one will be the top tier of my offerings. And then our groups will be, something like mid-range that people can
Sure.
have. And then we'll have things that are downloadable and stuff
Cool.
that
Things
people,
that people can do
yeah,
for themselves.
and it's not only affordability, but it's also where people are at. Like, they may have already seen a counsellor, they may have already had a little bit of support in that area, and they just need a little bit more. So if that's all they need, then I'll have that available too. And I'll even have things that you can work through at your own pace. Like, I'm in the middle of designing a workbook that'll be a self-paced, you just go through it, but I'll also be recording videos so that you can listen to me, and I'll explain why it's important to do this step, and we can work through that as well.
Yes.
So I want to have not only the affordability for whoever wants to have access to me, I also want to have the different platforms available as well. So I just want to reach,
be able to
as
reach as
many,
many
and have
people.
as many touch points back to me as I can.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear from you what kind of approaches or modalities really influence the way you're going to be working with these people.
Yeah. So one of my bugbears
Tell me.
is when you go to a counselor, psychologist, whoever you're going to, and they unpack you till you're like this broken mess, and then, okay, I'll see you in a month. As my mental health coach said to me, don't unpack someone unless you can help them pack back up. And I'm like, we don't need to unpack people. Like, we really don't need to do that. Those days, well, for me, I don't like the unpacking of bringing up all of this trauma, because I'm a trauma-informed coach. So I'm not going to, if you have an eating disorder, I'm not going to say, oh, well, what'd you have? I'm not going, I want us to connect. I want us to be able to have these conversations, and for you to feel like you can open up to me. So by asking you something stupid like that, like, you're going to close up. that's gonna trigger the hell out of you.
Mm.
And that's not my job. That's not what I wanna do.
Mm.
So what I will be doing is say, like, why are you with me?
Yeah, okay.
Why do you want to work with me?
So
Like,
that
what's calling
exploratory
you? Yes.
conversation.
What's calling you to work with me?
Mm.
Okay. Well, what does that look like at the moment? And
Mm.
how do you want it to look?
Okay.
So, what's the first step? How are we going to make that first little incremental step to get us to here?
They're
So,
really
it's
driving their own care, aren't they?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm just walking beside them and I just have the skills to prompt them on the next thing that they might want to look at or they might want to consider.
And it's so often we think, "Oh, well, I need to get to this place." So, like, I wanna exercise every day. And then we look back and we're like, "Well, I didn't exercise every day, so I didn't do it." And then from a counseling mentality, it's like, "Well, cool, that's where you wanted to go, but, like, how will you get there? And let's do the first next step."
Yeah. You
It's
can't go
different.
from sitting on the couch watching TV to 5 days a week in a training program at a gym. Like you like to think you do if you're following certain people. You got to be careful who you follow on Instagram, and that's something that I'll share in some of my books, like
Mm.
your environment and how that influences you as well. But yeah, you've got to break it down, and you've got to make friends with yourself as well. That's
Actually,
so important.
what you said about looking at someone's environment as a counselor, you're not just looking at like the grief or the diagnosis or something itself. Like all of that stuff that surrounds us feeds into things. So how how can you approach that in an appointment?
Yeah. So I guess when we sit down and the first things we'll do is like, what are you here for? What are your goals? Okay. So now let's look at you right now. Where are you at right now? What like and go through all the areas of your life. Figure out where you're at now and what things could you change
Mm,
that are going to make this easier. Who is around you?
mm,
What are your commitments already? Like so we don't like and it's the same with when we look at managing our lipedema with conservative measures. If you don't have half an hour in your day to give to the lymphopress, don't buy one.
yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
true.
Because we just overwhelm ourselves and then we feel more of a failure. So we've been feeling like a failure for 20 years of misdiagnosis. And now we're going to put all of these steps in place that are going to make us even more of a failure. It just breaks my heart
It's
that
so hard.
this is where we've gone, but this is where we've come to. This
Yeah.
is where we're at.
We do feel like we need to have all the things or we
Yeah.
need to
Do all the things.
there's a
Be
lot of
all the
fear.
things.
There's a lot of fear base.
Yeah.
That's just so
It
exciting.
is exciting and yeah. And I guess and because over the last 6 months or maybe the last 12 months since Dave got sick, like I've been doing a lot of this with myself
Yeah.
because I had realized that I'd been in fight and flight for so long that there was nothing left of me. My
Mhm.
nervous system was a wreck. I was putting too much pressure on myself to do things. And I was speaking to my diagnostic dietitian the other day and I said to him, I had all these things in place. I was like, okay, I need to go for a walk on the waterfront in the morning. I need to go to the gym after I do this. And I had all of these things I need to do. And I wasn't getting any of them done.
Mm.
And I realized I was putting barriers in place for myself.
Mm.
And so I've got a puppy dog now, my little therapy dog. So if I do have, if I have in-person things, I'll be able to take my little therapy dog. You'll be able to meet Daisy.
Oh,
So now all I have to do is put her lead on and we go for a walk. I don't even change my clothes.
yeah.
I just go in what I'm wearing because even that I'd made into a barrier. Oh, I need to figure out what I'm going to wear to the gym. Oh, I need to make sure I wear the right shoes because I wear different shoes when I do, Pilates to lifting to, going on the treadmill. And we just complicate the shit out of everything we do. And I think that's just the world we're living in at the moment because there are so many demands on us, how we're supposed to show up, the expectations on how we're supposed to be.
Mm.
And that shit's got to die.
It's gotta die.
It's got to die. The hustle culture's got to die as well.
It's true.
It,
It's slowly dying,
it
I think.
is. It
And the
is.
new generation that's coming up is really pushing for that to just absolutely die. And I think that's
It's brilliant.
what's
Absolutely brilliant.
interesting, Shell, as you talk, is that you are offering these services, but you actually understand the true importance of them, that you tap into services yourself for
Yes.
yourself. And it just goes to show that you walk the talk kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's so important that even you access these services to help you through your things.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. But it did take me getting to breaking point to do it. It is a shame. It is a shame. And so hopefully, as more services come online for people and more services are available, people can get to them sooner before they get to that breaking point. Because it's a lot harder to fix a broken person than it is to teach those skills when things start getting a little tricky.
Yeah, that's true. And just more services opening up and everything, I just wanted to call out the fact that we did talk about all of your qualifications earlier, but how important is it to have that really nice balance between lived experience but also qualification?
Yeah, I think that is like I think we said before that we need this is a very touchy subject. Like
Mm.
if you look back over the decades, people with mental illness used to be institutionalized.
It's very true.
There's still
And
so much
stigmatized.
stigma.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a lot of stigma. And so I think that's where we have to be very, yes, I've walked the walk, but I also know the code of ethics.
Mm.
I know how to care for you. I know how to keep your information private, and I know how to protect your story.
Well, and also, there'd be a level of, if you identify that someone might not be coping, it's that ability to tap into other resources.
Absolutely. And that is a big one. And that is like the opening
Mm.
lines of my service. Like when you come to see me, I'll say, "Hi, I'm Shelley. I'm so glad to meet you today. I just want you to know that everything will remain confidential unless you are in danger of being hurt, you're in danger of hurting yourself, or you're in danger of hurting other people.
Mm.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's the importance of having trauma informed and that first responder type training.
yeah,
If we're dealing
absolutely.
with serious stuff,
Yeah,
grief, chronic illness.
yeah. And I'm also I'm mental health first aid trained as well,
Mhm.
which I'm actually going to go and redo my qualification the first week of June. It's just, yeah, making sure. And with every more information I get, more education I get, I'm learning more all the time. Like, I know that sounds silly to say I'm doing this education, I'm learning, but sometimes you do a course and you're like, oh, that could have just been an ebook, mate.
Mm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because not everything is value add.
true.
So I'm trying to make sure that everything I do is adding value to me
Mm.
and to the
Your
people that I'm
services.
serving. And with my qualifications and my membership, I have to do 75 hours of supervision, 75 hours of supervision over the 2-year over a 2-year period.
Right.
So I have to pay a higher level counselor to supervise me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like every fortnight I'll have supervision. So to make sure my practice is constantly getting better, that I'm keeping up with anything that happens within the laws and
Yep.
legislations. I know there's a big push at the moment to have counsellors on Medicare so that we can use
Gee, wouldn't that be
Medicare.
good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, mental health support in the community is so few and far between. People are ending up in our emergency department because they just need help.
And then they don't have the beds for them anyway.
But no,
And
our
so
hospitals are not the right
they get them to
environment.
baseline, just at baseline, kick them out, and whatever was the trigger is still there.
And I'm sorry, but if you have a mental health crisis, a hospital is not for you. It is not an environment where you can feel supported and psychologically
Yeah.
supported. They try really hard, but
Yeah.
it's not the environment for you. So being able to access somebody outside in your environment in a safe and supportive way is, yeah. Wow, this is a lot. This is so exciting, and I'm so proud and excited of you because
Oh,
you have been talking about this for years.
thank you.
I'm curious to know, so you said it was going to happen in the new financial year.
Yes.
Really exciting. How can people find out more?
On my website, shellpeers.com.au, I'll have that all set up and you'll be able to book sessions through my website.
Amazing.
I know.
Yeah, I can't wait to check it out.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm really excited. And I just, yeah.
Finally.
Finally.
It's finally happening.
Finally happening. Yes.
Awesome. Love that. Love having you as a guest.
Thank you for having me today.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Lipedema and its symptoms vary from individual to individual. The opinions and advice voiced in this podcast are of a personal nature and used for educational purposes.
Please take away from this podcast what resonates with you, and please see your GP or preferred specialist for diagnosis and healthcare. We are Shelley and Tiana from the Lipoedema podcast. Until our next episode, bye for now.